What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Dauntless Outdoors. We got Con, we got Ben. We're in 57.5 feet of water.
58, Josh.
Oh no. And we're on some rocks and stuff. The viz looks alright. It's been raining a lot, but we're gonna see how it goes. Catch you guys in the water.
Right, so me and Josh are rigged up. Well, Josh is very close. And we got, he's probably on the bottom right now. We got Ben in the water, checking the spot out. About to hop in.
Saw a spinner shark when he first rolled up.
Yeah, he jumped probably 3 or 4 feet to clear out there. Should have been recording, honestly. Yeah, gun's loaded. That one's not, but we're gonna hop in here and shoot some fish.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Dauntless Outdoors. Thank you guys for tuning in. Colin and I just hopped in the water, and there's a lot of fish in the water. So I go down, spotted some nice kingfish. Ended up completely missing this shot, so we kind of just collected our losses and just kept diving. And then this is the same spot, just a little bit farther up. And as you see right there, there's a pretty good gag. I could have chased him and probably got a decent shot on him, but I wouldn't have got a shot at this fish here that I ended up actually shooting. It was bigger than the other one, and decided to seal the deal on this one right there. Turned for me, give him a nice shot, and then started pulling on him, made sure I grabbed the fish. And on my way up here, I kind of fumbled the bag a little bit. Right there, I dropped the fish. Luckily, I still had the line, so I could pull it back up, and I didn't have to swim back down and grab my gun and all that. But could have been worse, so it is what it is. We came to the surface with the fish. We secured a pretty good fish as the first fish of the day, and overall, nice start.
Not too bad. Probably 27-ish, 26. One of the biggest ones I saw down there. A couple more, we'll see if we can't get some. Alright, just got out of the water. Got the fish in the cooler. He ended up being 27.5. Colin saw another one as he took the dive, so we're gonna hop back in and see if we can't get another one. Ben's over there, he just went down. See what happens.
Alright, so Colin and I just hopped back in the water, and we looked down, and there's 2 sharks. So we didn't really know what was going to happen. We were kind of just checking it out, seeing what was happening. They were pretty curious, but they didn't give us too much trouble until later. So we didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal, but it kind of did end up being a pretty big deal. Colin went down. This is Colin's next dive, and you can just see how much bait and activity there is there. There's fish chasing other bait. There's all sorts of stuff going on, and Colin's about to head up. Pretty big bonita. Gives him a good shot, takes it, and starts freaking out. So Colin heads up to the surface, starts pulling on him, and this fish ended up getting eaten by we don't really know what happened. I think it's a Goliath grouper that ate it, but we can't be sure. So I'll let you guys watch and see what happens, but kind of interesting.
It's a pretty bad shot, but he's still on. He got 8. I don't know, I just got pulled underwater.
So right after that, Ben went down, shot a pretty good gag, and I go down to check out and see what's going on down there. And as you see, there's 3 or 4 more sharks. You can't really see them all in the frame at the same time, but there's a good bit more sharks, and we kind of just decided to call it good and head on out of there. Alright, got a new spot. Everybody getting suited up. We don't have the depth out, but it's 107, I want to say. And we're getting ready to shoot some pelagics. Probably some hermit after pompano, stuff like that.
Got a buoy. Ben's got a float line. He's got a new gun. He's getting his 3-band. Let's get his wood gun going. Colin and I got our rollers going. But yeah, we're about to hop in and see if we can get something.
So when we first hopped in the water, we weren't seeing a ton of pelagics like you usually would on this ship, but Colin said he saw a couple nice snapper and stuff up in the water column, and Viz was pretty good, so decided to head down there, check out what's happening, and got my new roller gun. Decided to just go lay on top of the end of this ship, and as I'm laying there, I'm kind of just looking around, looking at snapper, looking at all that other stuff, looking up in the water column, and I look down, and there's a gag directly under me. As you see, he's moving in there. Thought I was going to stone him right there, but I definitely didn't. He turned at the last second, and it ended up going through his gill plate and out of his throat area. So, wasn't a stone shot. I was hoping I was just going to be able to pull him up easy and just not have to go back and deal with it, but I ended up having to take another dive on this fish.
Good gag.
So this is me going back down. Both these dives ended up being about minute 50, minute 55. And as you see here, headed down, there's 3 or 4 Goliath grouper, and they ended up actually just eating this gag right off my shaft. I literally couldn't even feel it. It just ripped it off of there because my line was tangled there and the shaft was at a different spot. So it just had enough tension to just rip it right out of his face. So it is what it is. We decided we were gonna kind of just deal with it and move on. Grabbed my shaft and started to head up and just called it whatever it was.
Alright, I just hopped back in the boat. It's pretty much the same, kind of a little rough, not too bad, but after that fish I was kind of mad. I ended up going all the way down there, get my shaft unstuck and all that stuff, but those Goliath group had already ate it, so there's not much I can do about that one. Probably going to take a couple more dives up at the front of it and see if I can't pick off something else, maybe a gag. Colin said he might have saw either a big mutton or a cubera swimming up to him in the water column, so I'm going to check the front of it real quick. But other than that, there wasn't the pelagics like we were hoping for, but not much we can do about it. So yeah, get you guys back in the water.
So I hopped back in the water after that, took a couple more dives, and I wasn't seeing anything else, so I was about to head out. I actually hopped back in the boat, and Ben told me there was mahi in the water. So I got back in the water. I'm looking around. We had flashers out, thinking there was going to be pelagics, but we didn't see anything. And then as soon as I hop out, there was mahi. They were all pretty small. Different gun, wasn't even my gun. Took a shot, and I absolutely
like
missed.
10 inches.
After this, I ended up seeing a wahoo with another different gun, and I also missed that. It's pretty bad.
Alright, we changed spots. We're now on a wreck. It's actually like 120 feet to the bottom, but it comes up 20 feet off the bottom. So yeah, we got Ben and Colin. I unfortunately missed a wahoo.
I missed a wahoo too.
Yeah, Ben and I
missed it once, he shot twice.
both missed it. Pretty unfortunate, but now we're deeper. In theory, there should be more pelagics here. Looks like there's a lot of fish in the water column, so we'll hop in and see what we can get.
So after that, we kept diving. Ben went down, took his first drop, and we weren't really ready for what was about to happen here. We didn't know there was this many sharks here. We hopped in, saw a school of maybe 80 to 100 permit. Ben went down, took a shot, and as you see here, he's pulling it up. There's sharks, there's Goliath grouper, there's pretty much everything going on. We got everybody in the water, but it still wasn't enough to land this first fish here. So, kind of disappointing, but it happened a good bit of times this day. So this is Colin's video. Colin's down there checking out, looking at a permit, and as you see here, Ben takes another shot, another permit, and I'm up above, pulling on the float line. I wasn't really above him. His float line was tangled in the anchor line, and I was dealing with that, but it is what it is. We started pulling. This one shark got pretty feisty, I guess you could say. Swam all the way up to us, even though we had shark shields on, and he still didn't really care. He was just had his mind set on that permit. And I thought Ben was holding the line. Ben thought I was holding the line, and in the end, neither of us were holding his float line, which is one of the downsides of a float line. If you're not holding it, it's just gonna go away. That permit went back down, got absolutely just destroyed by these sharks here, and we lost another permit and another shaft. Isn't going so good isn't going so hot so far, so we were kind of thinking about just wrapping it up, and all of a sudden Colin goes back down, and this permit actually just swam up to him. It was a pretty easy shot. He was pretty close to the surface, and all of us were ready to help him out. So we all swim over there, made sure Colin got up to the surface fine, and then we started tugging away at this fish. And there was the whole entire school was still there. As you see, I go down, I make sure to grab his line, but there's plenty of other permit. I could have gone down and taken another shot, and you could probably hear Colin saying, "Go down, shoot another one," but we all wanted to make sure this fish got landed, and we didn't want more sharks just swimming up to us, especially if we have 2 permit in the waters and no loaded gun. It would have been a pretty bad mess if that happened. So I decided to just wait and shoot another one later on, because there were plenty of them to go around. So just made sure we secured this fish and got it in the boat. So after that, I go down. I'm taking my time, just trying to find a good permit that's close enough to the surface. That one right there is a pretty big permit, probably about 25, 26 pounds. But I decided to change my mind because I didn't feel like chasing him. He was already headed down, and I shot this smaller one. He was probably about 18 to 20 pounds. Still a pretty good permit, but it just started spooling me. As you can hear, it's just taking line and line and line, and I had my hand wrapped on that spool, pulling as hard as I could, and still it wasn't enough to keep this fish from getting eaten by a Goliath grouper. Surprisingly, the Goliath grouper took it and just decided it was going to go with it all the way down to the bottom. Almost spooled me, but I did get my shaft back. Somehow it wasn't bent, but it is what it is. Got the shaft back, got the gear back, wasn't too bad. Kind of just took our losses. And as we were about to leave here, we're at the boat saying, hey, we're going to leave. And one swims right up to Ben. Ben takes the shot, and it was maybe 25 feet under the surface. We all go down, make sure to secure this fish. Colin hops in the boat, starts pulling it up, and we secured this fish without having any issues. And then that was our limit, so we decided, hey, that's plenty good, and we just left. Called it a day and just went home.
That concludes our day.
Meet our limit on permit.
Yep. Not too bad.
Yeah, very sharpy day. Hopefully we got some exciting footage.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. A lot of sharks, a lot of Goliath grouper. We got very lucky that we got even 2 of them, which is our limit, but surprising. We lost some shafts, but we ended up with 2. So
I lost 4 shafts today.
if that doesn't say anything, well then I don't know what does. But yeah. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you drop a like and subscribe.